What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Trunk Fresh Green 34, and today we have what I'm basically considering to be the final chapter of this first part of the Disney Store saga that I've been doing on my channel. I've been doing these, or trying to do them once a month, since September. So originally I planned out the first, I think, seven? I think I planned seven. Um, that's right. It was seven because I didn't do September. It was October. So October, November, December, etc. to what was supposed to be April, but I pushed one of them back, so it ended up in May. I will be doing these starting again in the fall. I'll have 8 in season 2, which will go from September to next April, and we'll do it again September after that. So it's going to be a fun recurring series on the channel, but I am going to be taking a break from the Disney Store videos after this one. So today we have a bit, I don't want to say boring, I don't think this is a boring piece. We have a not interesting piece, I guess. It's kind of the same thing, but today we have Flash. And Flash was done by Mattel. I think that's the only thing so far in this series that I'm reviewing that Mattel has already done, I think. And the reason why I'm covering this is because I actually think this is superior to the Mattel version for one simple reason: the expression. Which is shocking because Disney Store is notorious for having awful expressions, as I've pointed out a couple of times in this series so far. Like Pinstripe McQueen's, for example, I think his is pretty bad. But Flash, honestly, I think they did an incredible job. So let's get right into this. If you don't know who Flash is, Flash appeared in the, I believe, Swedish version of Cars 2. Basically, for those who are unaware, Cars 2 has different versions depending on what country you're in. And the movie itself is basically the same, except in the Tokyo Party scene, and maybe elsewhere, but I think it's just Tokyo Party, they switch out Max Schnell for a different racer that is specific to the country that you're watching in. Wow, tongue-tied there. So, for example, the most iconic one is Frosty, who appears in the Australian version of Cars 2. Then you also have Flash. There's Memho Rojas Jr., Longe, I believe Fernando Alonso, that's the other one. All of which replace Max Schnell in those Tokyo scenes. And Mattel actually did pretty much all of them except for Fernando Alonso. That was the only one they didn't do. They did all of them as super chases in 2011, and those were the first ever super chases, which is pretty cool. I think they were good choices for super chases, in my opinion. And the Disney Store did them as well, although the Disney Store ones weren't nearly as hard to get. Like, I think Frosty is probably the easiest one to get from the Disney Store, because I think he just got like a normal release. Flash was marked as a chase piece, which, Disney Store chase, that didn't really mean much to them. It wasn't that much harder to find, I don't believe. Yeah, that's where Flash comes from. And so, since he replaces Max Schnell, he is the Max Schnell body. All of them are Frosty, Memo Rojas, Longe, with the exception of Fernando Alonso, weirdly. He's a unique model, don't know why, but everyone else is just a repaint of Max Schnell. So he is all blue. They've completely gotten rid of any traces of that Max design, basically. It's just his body, and they redid the colors. So he's all blue. He's got these nice yellow, golden, it's yellow. It's not gold. Who am I kidding? These yellow crowns here. You have a trio of them on the roof. And then we have this cross pattern, kind of like crossroads, done up in yellow that goes, over the windows, over the doors. Very, very nice. And then we have blue crowns on the side instead of yellow. What's interesting about the international racers is they don't have any World Grand Prix branding. So you can see, for example, the spoiler here is just completely blank. If this was Max Schnell, it would say like World Grand Prix or something on it. But these racers just don't have them at all, which in my opinion is really weird. Now, you can see one of the biggest issues the Disney Store faced, which was paint. Disney Store paint, from what I remember, was notorious for just chipping easily. It wasn't the best of paint. And so you can see, got a nice chip there, there. I think they got better at it as time went on, but this is like a 2011, 2012 piece, so it's definitely old. It's definitely in that era where the paint was just always bad all the time. But also, mind you, like I said, it's 2012, 2011. I've had this for over a decade now. Um, yeah, I don't have the Mattel version, but the reason why I think the Disney Store version is better, as I touched on earlier, is the expression. He actually has I'm hesitant to say determined, but I think that is what it is. His eyelids are in this like nice slant, whereas when Mattel did theirs and all of their international Super Chase racers, they all had the Max Schnell expression, which is already a bad expression because it's so lifeless. Like, let me grab my Max here and just show you what I mean. They all had an expression like this, which is just so robotic, so boring. There's no life in it. It's terrible. I'm absolutely not a fan of it, but that's what they chose to do with it. And I don't necessarily think it was like the worst choice, because like it looks fine on a couple of them. I think Frosty looks okay, but I don't think they should have reused it for everybody. Disney Store fortunately fixed it. They gave him a unique expression, kind of, because all of the Disney Store International racers share this expression. So Disney Store changed it up from what Mattel did, which was just copy the Max expression, and theirs was just, generic and robotic. They gave them, a nice, unique expression, which was, determined. But then they just copied it for like Frosty and Longay and Memo Rojas, and it's not good. It's not good at all. They just copy and pasted it. I'm glad that they copied this expression and not the Mattel Max expression. So I guess that's a good thing, but all in all, I don't know. I think this is definitely superior to the Mattel version, but there are some nitpicks that come out of this. Because just like Mattel, Disney Store copied this expression over. It's not unique, but hey, it is what it is. It's still better than Mattel's. It's got this really nice grill here. And let me focus in on it. Very, very nice. Got some very detailed headlight decals. That's pretty impressive, actually. Very nice. Very wide grin. I love it. Got the antenna up here. Tailpipe. Some very nice rims. On the back here, we have that cross design again with the 3 blue flags. I am like 90% sure that Flash is the Swedish racer. I hope he is. If he's not, I will put text or something in the video to clarify that, but I'm like 90% sure he's Swedish. I'm gonna look so stupid if he's not Swedish, but yeah. And very generic empty base in true Disney Store fashion. So that's it for Flash. I don't have a Disney Store Max Schnell. I do have a Disney Store Rip Kleczkonski, though. The only other World Grand Prix racer I have from the Disney Store. And the only reason I even bought it was because at the time, so this is a fun story, at the time, Mattel had not done their Rip Kleczkonski. This was back 2011, 2012. For whatever reason, they had not made Rip. And I assumed, because back then I did not have internet, I had no clue what was coming out. So I just assumed that Mattel's version was like super rare. So when the Disney Store dropped theirs and I found it, I bought it because I wanted to have some form of Rip Kleczkonski, even though it's much, much bigger than Mattel's. And if we're being honest, I don't think the expression is that great. But it's not a bad release at all. I think it's solid. Maybe I'll do a video on Disney Store Rip one day. It's not on my priorities list for season 2 of this saga. I have some of those releases planned out already, and Rip is not one of them. But yeah, that's the reason why I have Rip. I didn't get it because I wanted to. I got it because I thought I had to, because I just assumed Mattel's version was super rare and I was never going to find it. Turns out, they just hadn't made it yet. But yeah, back to Flash. Solid release. Definitely try and get it, especially if you're like me and you don't even have the Mattel Super Chases, because I think, like I said, the Disney Store versions, they're mostly easier to get. Like I said, I think Frosty you could probably find. It might not be cheap, but you could find listings for it. And I think the expressions are just better than Mattel's, honestly. I really do. Which, again, is wild because, like I said, Disney Store expressions are not great. Some of them are okay, but, you know, then Pinstripe McQueen and even this Rip Klinchgonski come to mind. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I hope you guys have been liking the Disney Store videos. I know I have. It's really fun to shine a light on this era of cars collecting because nobody really talks about it anymore. The Disney Store stuff has just started to fall into obscurity, and I don't really want that to happen. I really want to use my platform to highlight some of their best works because they've done some pretty great stuff. I mean, in this season alone, we've looked at the Mater Private Eye Pack, which is incredible. Mattel never did any of those, so that's a huge advantage for the Disney Store. We've looked at some fun McQueen designs, some fun Mater designs, Krabby the Boat, which is another one Mattel never really did. And yeah, like I said, Season 2, which will be returning in September, is when we're going to do more Disney Store videos. That lineup is going to be pretty fun as well. I have several ideas for that. And maybe, just maybe, some of them will even be World Grand Prix related. Yes, that's kind of a hint. It's a pretty broad and vague hint, but that is a hint for what's to come on my Disney Store series. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.